So before we officially kick off the video, I just want to say, wow, thank you so much for the huge increase in comments on part 4. I think that's definitely why the video took off and gained 30,000 views in just 48 hours as opposed to part 3, which got there in 19 days. If you'd love a part 6, I'd ask for the same again. Lots of likes and lots of comments. It really boosts the video rather than just likes. And hopefully we get 30,000 again in 1 month. Lastly, if you're not subscribed, I hope you choose to do so and hit the bell so you don't miss out on everything great about Attack on Titan Season 4 coming soon. And now let's get into the episode proper. I gave a shout out to badass looking posers in part 4 and I must say that this one really qualifies as well. Check her out! Kicking off the new video with the previously awesome intense realization that we're about to get a big old reunion down there and that this dude is still hot on their heels, plus a nice little bit of animation to boot. Oh dear God, I didn't expect that. But I'm not going to lie and say that it wasn't incredibly awesome. I mean, I didn't think that would be the end of him just yet, but how was that not incredibly cool? God, I still love Asta and his easygoing personality most of the time. He's a great character, always getting better, I think. Not walking on the spot. That's so awesome! It's a reunion that's been teased between two non-main characters for like 40 episodes or something. Again, one of the big perks of having a story taking place over such a large amount of episodes. Nice that they gave us a pretty much full-on recap of this series of events, but 90% of the win here is for this incredible bit of voice acting. That really hit me. A lot like Eren shouting after his mother in the first episode of Attack on Titan. Asta truly is incredible. He doesn't hesitate for even a single second about leaping in to stop this former enemy, someone he's only just started to treat as a friendly for like a minute from dying at her hands potentially. Ah, that's brilliant! Linking her to him as well. The mangaka really and truly found a way to fully integrate this dude into the story at large, and in such a few amount of episodes, no less. I'm so glad my waifu and not yours is still so prominent in this part of the story. Asta and Noelle have both come such an amazingly long way. It's utterly incredible to me getting to see him defending himself like that so easily, but now her as well. Oh man, just when I thought I couldn't like him anymore. Asta is spot on here. His family means everything to him and it strives to achieve anything, survive anything, so that they can be happy. And seeing Mars needlessly taking on damage like this, while it might look cool in an anime, it pisses Asta off, as he should live to try and make things right. This dude is now healing Asta, and I always knew I'd end up liking him as a character, and Asta is all hyped up and ready to go so long as he doesn't turn into charcoal, and I'm loving it! Not gonna lie, that scene genuinely got me a little bit. It's adoration upon Asta being a real and true knight, that emotional music, and the two of them working together.
もう爆発まで間もない。 君たちだけでも避難するんだ。仲間をアスタを信じてこの場に。
But how does that not get a win?
Yeah, あいつが裏切ったんだ。外の世界で出会ってしまったけど。
So this is a great scene, but I'm just throwing this out there quickly. I wonder if her memories have been overwritten then, since she clearly vaguely is remembering him, but also the attack on the elves. Very interesting. Sounds so stupid, but that got me going properly. It wasn't even like emotional as I thought it would be, but it still really got me with the eye disappearing and the sun shining through, her smile and their tears. Come off it, and then they end it with that visual as well.
そう、ファナの力が移植されたグリモワールだ。いつでもファナを感じている。
ちょっと怖い。
おお、友達。一回喧嘩してたけどな。なははは。こと。毎回無茶してばっかじゃないの。I'm
really starting to love this recurring theme of them beating on him every time he wins a massive battle by doing something crazy. This scene doing a nice job of filling in the blanks of how she survived, how she got the stone, and ultimately how Licht found her. Although he did speak to her as though he knew her, which is odd. It's very mysterious overall.
どうしたんですか、フィナル先輩。羨ましくて妬ましくてやらせないんだよ。フィナル先輩、幼馴染いないんすか。しかもたくさん。私は羨ましくなってないんだからね。なんで叩かれてんの俺。
I freaking knew he wouldn't be gone!
ちょっと同情しちゃうよね。同情するなら魔力くれ。あげられるならあげたいんだけどね。
I swear only Asta would say something like that mid-battle with a genuinely bad dude. Like, give me some of your magic, but stop making me laugh. It's time to rock and roll! This guy is seriously an irritating foe when it comes to Asta having to fight alone, and annoyingly he's right in terms of his current limitations, which it will be interesting to see if and how he can overcome them in the future. I love when Asta pulls stuff like this out. He was clearly fighting with one sword all of this time, and then he pulled out the second one when the guy wasn't fully paying attention. Amazing! This scene expertly reminding us of how Asta truly didn't go from weak to super powerful, but instead there was a series of events which transpired with a wide range of important people in his life, and slowly helped him to become who he is today. I love Asta so much! Here I thought he'd pull it out and clearly get betrayed, but instead he uses his wits and says exactly what I would say in that situation. Point being that he's always learning too alongside improving physically. I hate this guy so much! His magic absorption powers are incredibly irritating, and now it's one of those times where I haven't a clue what's going to happen because everyone is still half out of it, and Asta has used what I would assume is one of his final tricks. Okay, what is going to happen now? If he can cause that much damage so quickly with so little effort, help me! Help! It's so win-worthy! Bruh! A totally forgot about her. She's the one element still in play during this battle, and I totally forgot about her. Another new twist to that. Leave it to the end of the episode to really give you a more chilled out vibe after whatever hell you've just gone through during the episode itself. Genuinely beautiful art style change that came out of nowhere and was really unexpected. This is one of those scenes where I don't even know what to write yet, because I'm on the edge here wondering what's going on. I thought maybe he was dying, but now it feels like it's a Jujutsu Kaisen kind of deal, where something powerful is living within him. I'm well and truly hyped! I feel like this is really driving home a proper character arc for Asta, who one would think has pretty much evolved as much as he's going to within the past 63 episodes, but no, says the mangaka. Watch the space, he says. I assume anyway, since he's doing even more with the character. I've seen this before on Google or something, but never knew it was from this anime or this point in time. It's so amazing, but I haven't a clue what's caused it. Did the witch do it? She must have. Oh, so this is what you guys and girls were talking about in terms of another amazing battle right away. Now I get it. This is so good, but what I love the most so far is that it's really different to all of the previous battles in terms of animation. It really hits like a battle from Mob Psycho 100, and yeah, I've covered both seasons of that on both channels. Okay, so the battle isn't over yet, but take a very rare and very deserving double wins award right here. I'm blown away by the quality of animation and the bravery to make it look different to normal, to really punch this moment into the viewer's mind as being a big deal in the story. Take that double win, you legends! So this right here is what I always refer to as a one-shot sequence where it appears as though the camera doesn't cut away, and they've done a beautiful job of it here, and I do believe it may be the first to last longer than 10 seconds. Anyone talking shizzle about Black Clover's animation should really see this episode right here. It's episode 63. 63 in total. All of those endless weeks of animating this story, and still they pump out this high quality piece of animation. They should be absolutely commended for this. Out of every kind of power that could have been gifted to Asta, this is perhaps the best in that, first of all, it's a genuinely powerful ability, and second of all, it makes perfect sense within the story as to how it's such a great fit for him, as he was born without magic and so it doesn't drain on him. I mean, that's brilliant!
治療時に輸血した私の血を使い力の流れを速め今その出力の殻を意図的に外した
Understanding that this wasn't some fluke, but instead it makes sense in that it happened after she healed him from his curse, so it didn't just come out of nowhere like a big old ex machina. You guys and girls will have to let me know in those comments, and hopefully you did already leave one if you're being nice and want a part 6, how this battle looks to you. I have no doubt some people would slag it off, but I genuinely love it. I think it's so different to normal that it really appeals to me, and as you may well know, I'm a big fan of Mob Psycho 100's battles done in a similar style sometimes too. How can anyone not love a half-rotating shot, fully animated, with a massive scaled zoom-in shot as well onto the guy's face? Like, that's so much harder to achieve than you'd ever think. What do you do in my position for another minute-long continuous battle sequence that looks as good as this? I guess you show all the best bits to it, gush over it, and then move on to the next great part. Let's do that! Alright, I'm going to finish up this battle, or what I think may now be the end of it, with another double win. It's rare, but it deserves it, I believe, for all of that stunning animation, the varied styles, the one-shot sequences, and all of the commitment to different angles and shots. Huge well done to the mangaka and the animators too for this one. Easily the joint best battle for me, alongside Yami vs Licht.
お前は特別でも何でもない。だからこそ特別な存在たりうる。
Well, that's certainly one way of putting it, and she is partly right. He's not special, but it's being not special that's ended up making him special, and that kind of weirdly makes sense and is really indicative of his character as a whole, in that he's tried so much harder than everyone else because of that reason, and ultimately it's actually had a profound effect on his life. It's great. I was blown away by the next phase of the battle, but I was stopped by the beautiful sight of his anti-magic swallowing up and chasing down his magic. That looked amazing! Beyond stunning end to that battle, it was unpredictable on top of every other compliment I've levied upon it. Truly, truly happy and grateful that Part 4 got the views needed so quickly so as to allow me to jump right back in and witness this battle so soon after releasing it. Wow, rarely does Black Clover dive into the darker side of things, but it certainly does so right here, showing this magicless foe looking drained and emaciated after losing all of his magic. Like, that's rough, dude! Ah, okay, that's just the best! I really thought he wasn't in control like this, but he is! Much like after battles in Demon Slayer, the same thing happens here a lot, where you have a very likeable, charismatic main character who is very honest, straightforward and kind-hearted, and can do a lot to bring people back onto the right path, and honestly, just like in Demon Slayer, almost gets me going a bit as people lament their actions. Emergency plot twist! Get your foxholes into the bunker! Man the artillery! Everyone get down! Rotating view like it's no big deal whatsoever! Yet another brand new type of unique magic on Lama El Banana! Dear lord, this is horrible, especially after what I wrote for win number 692, because his kind nature obviously means absolutely nothing to her right now.
最初の仕事だ。この場の者全員お前の手で殺させてやろう。
I swear, guys and gals, this anime just keeps on jumping up level after level. This for me right here is a twist worthy of an anime I love, such as Hunter x Hunter, where it changes so suddenly, things get real dark, and I'm just over here with my mouth gaping open, utterly shocked. Then they go and end it with that smooth as lightly salted butter animation smeared lovingly over the warm piece of toast that was episode 63, and if you couldn't tell, I haven't eaten my lunch yet.
ダメだよせ
やれ。バネッサは私の欲しいものを呼んで、いつか生きてこの森に戻ってくる。 More
world building, even if it is specifically about the Witch Queen. I just enjoy when elements to the wider story are brought up but not shoved into our face with exposition, like the Diamond Kingdom's forces turning up because they knew she had the secret to immortality and their king was sick, or when she mentioned how it's fitting or ironic that Asta's sword would be what takes out a royal family member. They do that really nicely. The only other element that has consistently got better for me on top of the story as a whole is character building. At the start it was good, focusing on one member at a time, but the revelations were fairly simple. However, now things have gotten more in depth, diving deeper into characters' background and mentality, why they are the way that they are, and that's something that keeps getting better. For example, in this lengthy flashback, we're shown true loneliness for Vanessa. They do a brilliant job demonstrating just how long she was alone for and how isolated that made her feel. Hell, it's probably even linked to her over drinking in all honesty.
The
introduction of Yami into her life and how they tell us that he was even extremely tough back then. I got serious Hunter x Hunter vibes from this scene. It just reminded me when we were shown how tough Netero was even years ago, and I feel the same way about Yami. Vanessa's escape from years of captivity deserves a fat win, and I'm starting to see now real similarities between Yami and Asta in terms of how their words and deeds have affected others. Yami in the past, for the most part, and Asta in the present. God, I'm so confused. I thought it didn't work and I was all like, oh no, and now it seems I was wrong and something has happened, but I don't quite know yet, and help me! Dear Lord, I keep on forgetting that he can do this ever since he used it on a kid when all the kids were captured by the dude who made it snow back in part 2.
今のは
一体何が
バカ
Well, I have to say, I don't quite know what her cat can do, but take a win for the new Magicodar, and also, let's be real, the cat is a little kawaii! I don't even know what to say about that OP. They must hate it when it's time for a new OP because they clearly put so much effort into them each and every time. Firstly, good catchy song. That much is obvious, so let's put that aside. But goodness me, it's the visuals as always which are stunning. Starting off with some awesome elemental scenes and then moving on to various battles taking place with old and new faces alike, and it just struck me as a kind of tournament arc or something, but regardless, it looked amazing.
血液回復魔法
Super nice touch showing Vanessa half take a step back as she begins to cast, just in case. Also though, super nice way of returning everyone back into the game for a new arc instead of needing a lengthy amount of time to recover, and of course it's no ex machina since we already knew she has incredibly powerful healing magic. This is probably the best literal phew I've had yet after any battle, and purely because it was 3 quite large battles one after the next. It really and truly was such an amazingly intense arc. Asta continuing to be Asta.
私には必要のないものだ。くれてやろう。魔石
Might sound stupid, but every time they gain a new magic stone, I actually get hyped. Like, yes, another one! It's like it's a video game I'm playing or something. Ah, see, now this goes back to something I mentioned in part 4. So, firstly, let's praise the info dump we just received, which put a few extra pieces of the puzzle back together, but now let's quickly move on. I do wonder if I was right in that the first king did portray the trust of the elves, Licht and so on, then maybe their leader used a forbidden spell to destroy the humans in retaliation, and he was able to defeat that great foe. Of course, I could be wrong, but I do like to throw out my theory sometimes.
昔バーヤが読んでくれた絵本に出てきた悪い魔族、それがエルフ族のことだっていうの？なんかすごい新情報がバンバン出てくる。
そしてダイヤモンドを平和国家へと改革してみせる。
俺はマルス君を支えてみることにするよ。
Mars and this dude heading back off to the Diamond Kingdom to overthrow it basically and remake it as a peaceful nation is a confusing notion. I kind of figured there'd be antagonists throughout the story, but it seems not. Either way, I look forward to seeing how that story progresses, and it's a nice twist in the story for sure.
友とはそういうものだろう。
ああ、マルスが困ったら俺にも言ってくれ。ダイヤモンドに突っ込んでやるぜ。
Oh, this guy turned out to be such a legend after all!
だけどここはあなたの故郷に変わりない。いつでも遊びにいらっしゃい。
I definitely feel as though that was her way of inviting her to return so that she could see her once again. Kind of sweet really, especially when you factor in how after the battle she did internally lament on her actions.
なんかすごいことになってる。
翼をもがれた打天使、君の笑顔を取り戻すために。
What the heck happened to them?
魔法の素晴らしさに目覚めてしまいました。美しい魔術式が絵画のようです。
What the heck happened to them again?
おう、治りました腕。
なんだとおい、俺がいつか直すっつってんだ。もっぺん呪われてきやがれてめえ。
妹さんと同じ。そう、アスタ君は君にとって家族。つまりアスタ君の親友である僕も君にとって家族。
Gordon continues to be such a legend!
手で食べられるのってありがてえ。
Probably the most well-deserved break period in between missions and arcs, especially since the last 2 arcs were basically joined together as well. You guys and gals know this by now, but I really enjoy the downtime, and more so because every time it happens, certain members have grown on me more and more. Oh, okay, now that's my new favourite ED so far. An interesting new character is introduced while there's a stunningly well-animated dancing scene. Like, my god, look at that, she looks beautiful. And then to top it all off is that song, which clicked immediately with me, and I've ran straight off to add it to my editing playlist.
聞いていると思うが、魔女の森に住む魔女王がアスタの腕を直してくれたそうだ。
This guy's back in the anime again. I really like him, as you know. Can't believe I started off hating him, and now it feels like it was years ago. It's nuts!
クラウスさん、毎晩水をかぶってアスタさんのために祈ってたじゃありませんか。
アスタの腕が治りますように。アスタの腕が治りますように。
Ah, he literally managed to rise my estimations once again. How does he do it? Very clever way of doing a recap episode by having these 3 sit there reading through reports from the Black Bulls in order to familiarise themselves with the enemy and their tactics and abilities thus far. They could have easily gone down the route of an age-old recap where it's literally just explaining stuff and showing a few solid minutes of scenes all mashed up, but at least they put a twist on it.
いい情報は白夜の魔眼のアジトを見つけられそうだというもの。また戦いになるね。戦いに。
Hyping us up for what could potentially be one of the biggest battles yet.
なんだか楽しいね。
ありえね。
Well, that was certainly really weird.
まず知っての通り、魔法騎士団は活躍に応じて星をもらえます。1年間に取得した数を発表して1位の段を決めるのが今回のお祭りなのです。
Oh, okay, that's sick. It's a really decent excuse with which to get everyone who is important from prior episodes or the anime in general into one area to allow for catch-ups and cool stuff to happen in general. Having the opportunity to see another side to the capital that breathes life into it and its citizens.
カホのキアト？
呼んでくれてありがとう、アスタ。と、麗しの女神。
Bruh, I got such a stupidly big smile on my face right now. I never expected to see these two again so quickly. It really made me happy. Isn't that weird?
踊れる。これでまた前みたいに。
私また歌える。
ありがとなアスター。おお。
またみんなが私の歌を本当にありがとう。
Made me cry. Good for them.
そうだ、どうせなら本当にダブルデートしよう。
一体何が始まるんだ。
Finally, at long last, a nice little look at Asta potentially building something very slowly, no doubt, with Noelle. I wonder if one day they will actually move forward on that aspect of their relationship. I have no clue.
ダブルデートってなんだ。
ほらほらアスタ、目いっぱい遊ぼう。
I like where this is going!
マヨネーズでラブ女神って書いてください。
デブメガネ。
私ので。
あ、サンキュー。
ちょっと何やってんのガキさん。じゃあ段取りのおさらいだ。お前らがやってきた客を怖がらせて。
Yes! They found the way to bring my funny boy back into the anime once again. Also, I kind of forgot to mention it during part 4, but I think one of the witches in the forest before the battle had begun were talking about him trying to hit on her, which is funny.
俺だってお前が親なのか。
This whole scene.
魔力が弱い人たちへの差別があるの。同じ人間なのにね。
Brilliant way to bring this part of the anime back into focus, as I had genuinely forgot it even existed since we've been fighting battle after battle in the past few arcs.
だからこそ誰にも手を差し伸べるべき。自分の方が上だとうぬぼれ、周りを蔑むなんて、そんなこと心が貧しい者のすることだもの。
Noelle really climbing up in my estimations even more, as she essentially publicly calls out the nonsense the kingdom is kind of founded upon, and that her own family lives its rules by as well. Gorgeous bird's eye view of the city at night with a firework.
てめえとはいつかケリをつけなきゃなと思ってたぜ。
Extreme levels of hype for a potential boss fight!
てめえの屋台と俺の屋台、どっちが売れるか勝負だ。
Okay then, I guess. No boss fight, but instead selling stuff.
売り上げでちまちま勝負なんてしてらんねえ。奇遇だな。俺もそう思ってたとこだ。
I'm so confused, the hype just came rushing back and now I'm lightheaded!
何これ。
I need to lay down. Too much hype followed by very low amounts of hype.
ジャック・ザ・リッパー、覚悟いいか。覚悟するのはてめえの方だぜ。闇助弘、こいつがうずいてるぜ。
Please do not now end up not fighting. I can't take it anymore. I woke up from my nap feeling okay and now you're increasing the hype again. Please just fight!
闇魔法、闇まとい、クローバー。列弾魔法、鉄砕さ。 すげえ。この間海底神殿の任務で新しい魔法に目覚めちまってな。自分の才能が怖いぜ。
Man, oh man, when he gets serious and they animate it like that, he really looks amazing.
時間拘束魔法クロノスタシス。
God, this dude is awesome! Ooh, kawaii.
おい。貴様こそ。
せっかくのお祭りなんですから。
Oh, yes, that's her. I totally didn't recognize her. She is hot, but I didn't know that. Anyway, that was a sick-ass reveal if ever there was one.
騒ぐな男ども。見せ物ではないぞ。姉さんの美しさに盛り上がっていいのは。
These two are just stupidly good. Anyway, moving on.
そこの女、私と勝負しなさい。
I didn't anticipate getting a series of fights during this kind of rest and relaxation related arc, but I'm not hating it at all. It's also like they're using it as an excuse to move forward a few people's feelings towards one another as well, which, let's be fair, is hard to do in the middle of a battle arc or whatever.
ではこの対決なんてどうでしょう。お祭りの夜にぴったり絶世の美女2人によるコスプレ対決。
If this happens, it's legit better than a fight, just saying!
さあさあ勝負の結果はなんと同点だ。この勝負引き分け。
なんですって？
Please tell me they're gonna do a round 2! Coming back to this in a couple of minutes time. Damn, but still both look great. Bruh. Who the hell could have seen a big old piece of character building and story background for this lovely lady right near the end of this episode about fun and games? So unexpectedly fantastic, getting to see another location from above, the notion of the curse upon her and her family and how she was ultimately saved by an annoyed Yami and subsequently fell in love with him as a result, breaking the curse. I loved that so much, and again it shows how much he's affected people's lives over the years.
今回の魔法騎士団功績発表は私からさせてもらう。
Using this as a great opportunity to also refamiliarize us with the captains, many of whom we haven't seen or heard from in quite some time, and also the brand new leaders too, one of which is Kawaii!
金色の夜明け星の取得数はなんと
Actually taking the time to lay out all of their achievements and how many stars were awarded to them as a result of that.
風の精霊シルフを従えた期待の新人ユノ。
よくやったなユノ。
すごいですわ。
Also taking the time to show those who are happy for Yuno and those who most certainly are not, which opens up new storyline possibilities and quite frankly for me personally continues to just amaze me in terms of how large the story and its characters actually is.
第2位は黒の防御。
Ah, such a great twist! I was thinking to myself, it'll definitely be them, but until it came up on the screen I was still half expecting it not to be them. Well done everyone, I'm hyped! How can I not give an extra win for my boy Gordon actually being so shocked that he raises his voice slightly?
残念ながら出るのにクソふさわしい男が嫌がるんでね。
今回は譲ってあげるからとっとと晴れ舞台に上がりなさいよ。
呼ばれてるぜ。
If anyone can tell me the name of the song, I'd greatly appreciate it. That one really gets me emotional. It has done twice now, in fact, and seeing Asta get the recognition that he deserves finally is so powerful. That landing!
いやーすごい登場だったね。彼が黒の防御。
Nice little addition to show his sidekick using his magic with which the Wizard King is able to amplify his voice to the crowd. Yuno showcasing a power, showing that you do not need to be of royal blood in order to command huge amounts of magic, which nicely ties in as well to the recently reminded theme in the anime of the power structure with nobility at the top and peasants down below, and the discrimination that follows along with that as a result. And then, to make it even better, Yuno gives Asta a way of joining in on demonstrating his own power, since obviously without magic and just 2 swords there would be little he could do in front of a crowd.
そして身分の違いを乗り越え一丸となってこの国を勝利へ導こう。
Brilliant in terms of both story and his character that the Wizard King uses this chance to show his people that it's not all about nobility and that ultimately they're fighting for them and their country. It was a wonderful speech and it elevated him to new levels for me in terms of my enjoyment of his character and personality.
俺たちここまで来たんだな。
That.
魔法騎士団の中でもさらにえりすぐりの騎士を集め最強の選抜隊を結成することにした。その名もロイヤルナイツ。
I'm kind of annoyed but also incredibly hyped. Firstly, I'm kind of annoyed because no doubt this would ideally have been kept a secret from spies and such, but obviously I'm also incredibly hyped because I'd imagine Yuno and Asta will be grouped with other powerful knights and that would be amazing to have them both fight together properly for the first time.
さあ早く殺せ。王よ
気をお鎮めください。
It really shows who actually holds the power right here, doesn't it? Because clearly guards aren't rushing over. I mean, even the nobility mad captains aren't doing anything.
とんだふぬけ軍団を育てよって
Lelouch's sister Cornelia from Coquillas.
こんな役立たずども残していつまでも寝ているとはいいご身分だ。そんなことありません。兄上は誰よりも素晴らしい団長です。
誰よりも厳しく、しかし誰よりも熱く我々のことを、この国のことを思っている。
I got you. A nice character trait there. More hidden than her brother's same trait, but she obviously has her own technique by which to try and bring out the best in those around her and motivate them. Nicely done.
じゃあなアスター、また試験だ。うわユノ、待てこら。貴様もだ。
God, I love this damn anime! Yeah, I know they happen to be in the right place at the right time, but I love them getting involved with this other group because I like them, her, and the little brother, and it'll be awesome learning more about the group and those characters too.
万年再開にぶち抜かれるってのはどんな気分なのかな、プププ。そんな口汚い黒の防御に負けておいて、よくそんな立派に前髪ネジネジしてられんな。恥ずかしくないの、ププ。
Yami endlessly teasing the other captains is one of the best things I've seen today.
それはそうとてヤミ殿、欠席はダメですよ。てかオタクも愉快な髪型だね。
我ら三兄弟はそんな安易な方法で命名されていない。
なんだ、五段活用みたいにゴレオン活用するんだと思ってた。
He keeps...
貴様もだ。功績発表に遅刻どころか欠席しよって。
闇目、いい気味だな。
貴様も。貴様。ノエルか。
The single only thing that could have made the rest of the episode and coming episodes better is Yami and this lovely lady plus Noelle being chosen to come along. Like for real, I'm genuinely so hyped it's not even funny, and I cannot wait for episode 72 and the rest of this one. Let's go! Oh, I see. But nice to see another of these rare strong magic regions, just like the underwater temple from parts 3+4, and of course the promise of some legit magic taking place, hyped for different reasons.
どうだ、ワクワクしてきただろう。
Yes, because you just mixed the hype I felt from win number 780 with the hype I felt from win number 781, and I love that combination! As always, it's a pleasure to see the pros at work and further differentiate between who is at the top of the power board and where everyone else is under them. Yet another unique use of magic Oda that really opens up future possibilities, Oda! I'm so glad I was right about her, as she's like a rougher version of her younger brother who gave her great advice and words of wisdom back in part 2. That's so awesome, dude. Plus that flashback scene was really amazing as well, seeing her mother for the first time, her siblings when they were younger, and them knowing back then that her mother wouldn't make it through childbirth, but essentially giving up her life for the unborn Noelle.
素晴らしい運だ。それほどの運を持っているのなら、こんな山登れなくとも運で魔法帝になれるかもしれんな。
帰りません。俺たちが目指しているのは運でなれるようなものじゃない。
She really and truly does know just what to say to each person, even though she's just met, like Asta, to get them over their limits and keep them pushing on to greater heights.
あの時はなんか気を失って気づいたらああなってたし。わからん。
貴様の頭も噴火しそうだな。
This. Asta using the tricks taught to him over the recent months, I'm guessing, to bring about this change in himself in a logical way, and it makes him friggin' fly. That's awesome for later. Get out of here! That was legit!
この魔法。カリディス・ブラキーム。
That was so amazing. She is so awesome. We understand a little more about how his power works, and he got there freaking fast, considering how much of a head start everyone else had. Not going to show too much just in case, but yeah, the Hot Springs gets a win, and you already know why, so there's not much point in any elaboration. Also coming back to this in 2 minutes time, the blonde lady visualizes a nude Yami on the other side and passes out face first in the water, and it's hilarious.
だからこそ超えろ。母親に似たお前が母親とは違うお前の強さでな。
はい、
Such a nice reply from her, devoid of any feigned attitude or disinterest, just a will to get stronger and better for her friends and essentially new family.
レオポルド、お前に教えること。それは女風呂を覗くことだ。
はい兄上。
ってそんなわけあるか。
This episode and the previous couple have just been so full of humor, it's awesome. It's such a nice change of pace to the usual.
ほらやってみろよ。お前のご自慢の魔法で正義の名のもと罰してみろよ。
Probably the single most interesting looking new character I've seen in the entire anime so far. Also though, Garou from One Punch Man, Lee from Code Geass, and Besto da Genius da from My Hero Academia.
帰りません。失礼します。そうよ。もう恐れない。
Noelle showing actual sustained character growth by immediately pushing back and then leaving with her head held high, whereas obviously before she'd have just cowered away. Also, go ahead and take another win here for all of the introductions that have taken place so far, allowing us to refamiliarize ourselves with basically everyone important who isn't a captain.
ま、俺らの魔法帝なら少しの遅刻ぐらい許してくれるよね。
離れろ、無礼者。
遅れてきた上になんというそんな態度。
魔法帝は姉さんが認める数少ない男なんだぞ。
Amazingly, every one of them had the same reaction I did to him being so overly casual with the Wizard King, telling me that they all feel a mixture of respect and worry for him seeing something like that happen. I'm smelling the distinct feint of an incredibly great upcoming tournament arc, and I for one welcome the smell. Smells like spaghetti with a side of garlic bread, so sign me all the way up!
ああ、どんな魔法が見られるのだろう。楽しみだな。
完全のお供に一つどうぞだなら。
お、ありがとう。
He actually took the snack, bless his heart. Love that dude!
10時の方向に3メートル移動。魔法帝を苦労する不埒者め。
So let's go ahead and encompass all of the new magic we're going to be seeing this episode with a brand new unique magic related win that covers everything.
石魔法。
魔法の花。
ロックフォードレス。
おお、見事。私が先導します。巻き返しましょう。
Her demonstrating her brand new offensive abilities that we had heard about after formerly only basically having aiding or healing magic, and beyond that it was pretty damn cool looking to boot.
アスタさん。アスタさん。
Oh, this got really intense all of a sudden.
今だ。
Genuinely great looking CGI. What?
実は俺がここに来たのはある目的が。
どういうことだ。
嘘だよ、バカ。
I really can't figure this guy out, which is a great win for the anime, because he acts in very confusing ways, but I think it's obvious that there's more to him than meets the eye and that he is there for a different reason than all of them. But what and why?
そしてそんな中、なぜ私はこんなにも美しく生まれてしまったのか。辛い。変な人出たー。うるせー。お前、うるせー。
That perfect reaction.
貴様がアスタという下民か。
はい。
気安く語りかけるな、汚物が。どうやら脳みそも醜いようだ。なぜ貴様のような美しくないものが魔法騎士になれたのか。
Originally I thought her brother was more of a joke kind of character, introduced for a few laughs, but then when he changed his demeanor so quickly when speaking to Asta, he kind of actually pissed me off, so there's definitely more to him than meets the eye too. However, I did just do a My Anime List check and everyone stay calm. He's also Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter, one of my top 5 anime of all time! I was definitely right then in my presumption that he wasn't just a small side character, as he goes on to give excellent advice to both of his teammates leading to their victory in battle, and then his own rather beautiful looking victory, as he'd probably love me to say. My boy Finral coming along leaps and bounds and not only using his newfound confidence from his battle alongside Asta in part 4 to become leader of his team, but also to then construct an excellent plan of attack and win them the match. That's what I love to see, character progression that isn't forgotten about but is instead built upon.
正面突破だと。てか、なんだあのダサい乗り物は。バカめ、俺たちが地中に仕掛けたトラップ魔法の餌食だぜ。
空間を削り取った。
クリスタル破壊 G チームの勝利。
Whoa. As easy as that? Bruh. Okay, that was good. Gotta give props. On top of that, his magic really reminds me of Akayasu's The Hand from part 4 of JoJo.
次の僕らとの試合、僕の空間に入らないでくださいね。体持っていかれても知らないですから。そうならないように俺がお前に勝つ。兄さんのくせに生意気だね。
Massive hype levels for episode 76 to hopefully kick off part 6 of this video series. Hey guys and gals, I'm going to go off the cuff for this one. I just want to thank each and every one of you who left comments on part 4 so much, because clearly it made a massive difference. Like, the views came in so much quicker because on YouTube's algorithm it shows there's such a high level of interactivity from my fans, so they boost it and they show it to more people basically. So it made a huge difference. Thanks so much for that. And also a massive thank you to about the 6 to 8 people who joined my Patreon as a result of hearing about the financial constraints I come under recently as a result of the algorithm change on YouTube, and it just really hit about 10 of my best performing videos and just really knocked them down, sadly, but it is what it is. But thank you all so much for joining up. That really means a lot to me, and hopefully soon we can go back over $1,000, which would be amazing. Thank you all so much for watching, and hopefully if this video does well really quickly, we can get a part 6 as well. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Nathan Bird, Bird Without a Word, Aidan White, PK Fan, Ali 50, Ryan Anderson, Isael Caldera, Chris Harris, Yona Stahl, Manolo Saucedo Munoz, Luis Hernandez, Kim Munt, Jason Davies, Yuki Ali, Manuel Morales, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Blitzcloud, Aurakeeper, Steelers, Kimi O, Sentimento, Juffa6263, Master Tank, Kevin Nelta, Brendan Krier, Storm 970, Mr. Waffle 64, Kaj Vozelman, Jordan Samuels, Sean Graves, The Epic Commander, Crimson Shadows, Kyle Farmer, Buzzbomb 3000, Adora Blue.